Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning, superstar. Wow, so excited to be here with you. Look how long your hair's gotten just since the last time we saw you.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Wow, you're growing every part of it. So excited to be here with you today.
Me too.
Today we today we want to introduce you to the community, and we just want to give you the opportunity to share what your experience has been like, being a part of the Ultimate Coach, reading the Ultimate
Mm.
Coach, reading the concentrated version, growing through the Ultimate experience in Birmingham. Anything that you want to share with that? Um,
Um,
we're we're open to
okay.
allow you to share whatever comes up and whatever is present for you. Is
Okay.
that cool?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Miss Elani Kotsis is going to be one of our special guest speakers at the Ultimate Experience in Arizona,
Mhm.
January 24th, 25th, 26th, which is only in 7 days. And Miss Elani truly is a vibrant, inspiring 12-year-old who is living her faith and values with true passion in action. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you want to take your notes. So go get your journal and take
Mhm.
some notes from this young lady of how to take inspired action from a thought into instant action, because her sharing her journey here today is truly one thriving in self expression and creativity. And it truly does also include the impact and the love of her opportunity to be in soul school, which allows her to learn and grow beyond just a traditional classroom. And let me tell you, she is one that has big dreams, and
Mhm.
she showed that at our ultimate experience in Birmingham. And so thank you, Elani, for being here. Thank you for being willing to say yes and get on that stage again to inspire all of us with you being you, because
Mm.
wow, the energy that was flowing from your just
You.
impromptu speech and singing on stage in the ultimate experience at the ultimate experience in Birmingham. So thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Of
And I want to take a moment before we dive in and just acknowledge you. The there's the things that are so remarkable about who you are and who you're being. Um, I think about your courage, the courage that you have to stand up in front of. I was sitting outside on the steps there, and there's probably, I don't know, a couple hundred of us sitting there. And because you are courageous in your passion and your gifts, you treated us all to just this divine angelic song that came forth from you, and it was magical. I was like, who is this amazing girl? And and then we got to see you on the stage, and then we got to hear some of your story, and talking with your parents. And not only was your courage remarkable, your passion for the creativity and your gifts in your art is also remarkable. Your determination at your age and your discipline, and the degree of commitment that you have, and the clarity of vision. Okay, I know adults that have lived their entire life that don't have one of those. And you are showing up in this life so amazing, so clear, Such a bright beam of light, and just it gives me hope for the future when I see how you're showing up. So thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, now that was a lot of packing of acknowledgement and so well earned. You truly are inspiring, Eleni, and I'd love to give you the opportunity to share with the audience that might be watching the replay on this um, a little bit about your journey into creation of even how you got on stage at the Ultimate Experience in Birmingham. Would you like to share that story?
Yeah, sure. So when my family and I were going to um the thing at I can't remember what it was called, the restaurant beforehand, before the ultimate experience for everybody to like meet each other. Um, um, my dad talked to, I can't remember his name, but he was one of the people who helped create like most of the event
Oh,
in
Matt
Birmingham.
Evans.
Yes,
Matt.
yes. Matt, yeah, my dad talked to Matt and asked him if I could speak because I really wanted to. Um, and he said he'd find a place for me to speak, so I was really excited about that. Um, I had only like written the speech a few days beforehand because we were reading the Ultimate Coach Consolidated as a family, and something it was talking about how Steve was in like a competition or something like that, and he was asked if he could change the world, what was one thing that he could do and that he would do, and he said he would change all like scriptures and holy readings that end in a fight. He would change it to end in world peace and community instead of a fight. And so
Mm,
that just kind of got me thinking. So I recorded myself like doing this like 10-minute speech and just like saying whatever came to mind. And then I eventually wrote it down and practiced it and then I was able to speak it. So that was really exciting. Yeah.
mm,
And I love the story even prior to that, where you were listening to the concentrated version and you were inspired to do that. And a little bit of the backstory that I heard, that you had asked your dad, like, Dad, I've created a speech. I want to speak at the Ultimate Experience. And he was like, it's pretty packed. There's not
Yeah.
really going to be a way. And he was like, not really thinking that it was going to happen, but
mm,
you knew it. You just knew it in your soul that it was going to happen. And I'm so inspired by that action that was taken. Like, it was just a knowing this is supposed to happen. And I believe it was one of the most profound and inspirational moments of the entire event.
mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for your courage and your bravery to stand up and say, no, I really feel called to share this with everyone. And I love how that reading that um, extemporaneous competition in the Ultimate Coach concentrated version, how it inspired you, because it's really inspired me too. It
Mm,
really resonated with my heart. And just to experience you translate that into how you were inspired was really beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would
I,
love to ask. Oh, go ahead, Professor.
yeah, I'd love to. If you're open to sharing this story of the inspiration of and how you came about working with Steve, I think people would love to hear that because that's absolutely remarkable.
Yeah, so I so my dad when we were creating our IAMs or document like probably about 3 years ago when we were creating our documents and we were trying to memorize them, and my dad was like hey kids, like if whoever can memorize their document first, I'm gonna take to see Steve for you to see Steve. Because he had a agreement with Steve at the time, and so he wanted to bring us along for just one of those sessions so each of us could see what it's like and benefit from it. And I don't really remember who memorized the document first, but somehow I was able to go first because Zachary and Sam, my other siblings, um, didn't wasn't ready to go first, so I was able to go first, which was exciting. So, when we got there, I remember going to Steve's backyard and we saw his turtles and we saw the wall with all of his the names of the clients that he has worked with, and I saw my name on there, which was really exciting. And I
Wow.
also saw the mural wall. Um, and I remember just sitting in Steve's office and I was like practicing like my document. And he left. He had a balloon in his office when we came in. It said "Welcome home," and there was like a candy bar like tied to the bottom of the balloon. So that was like really sweet, and I was so excited. And I remember before you came in, I started crying because I was like scared. And my dad was like, "It's gonna be okay." Like, um, it's like I just had nerves that it wasn't gonna go well or something like that. But it went really great. And I remember Steve's first words when he walked in the door was, "My, aren't you a cutie pie?" And yeah, it was really great.
So from that, I believe very shortly after, maybe even the same day, you took action on what you were inspired by from your takeaway from being with Steve. Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yes. So first, while we were having the session with Steve, he asked if I wanted to create things, and I said yes. And he asked, "What do singers do?" And I said, "They sing." And he said, "Okay, so let's go sing." And so we walked around the neighborhood knocking on doors and asking if I could sing for his neighbors. And then the next day, or the same night, I believe, um, we were at a restaurant, my dad and I, and he asked the manager to turn off the music and if I could sing. And I did, and that was really fun. And then the next morning, we were going out for breakfast, and I was able to sing again, and the young girl who was working there who asked the manager to stop the music. We created the ultimate coach book for her because my dad always has them on hand to give to other people. So yeah, that was really great.
Amazing. Now, um, I heard a story that you decided you were going to have your own session with Steve, and you raised the money to do that. Is that true?
I did not raise the money to have a session with Steve. No.
Oh, okay.
Where did you hear that from?
People talk and rumors get started. You know how that goes.
Or
Um,
maybe you're foreshadowing.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
so So something kind of similar happened. So I wanted to have a session with Steve, but I didn't have the money to do it. But I really wanted to. So just like a month or two ago, I emailed Steve asking if he would gift a session to me. And he told me first I need to read all of the Ultimate Coach Consolidated and I needed to read the Sermon on the Mount in the Bible.
Mm,
He didn't really tell
mhm.
me why, but I read it. I read both, and then he said he would give his session to me once we're in Arizona. So that's in like 3 or 4 days. I'm going to be having a session with him. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
really excited about that.
wow. That is
What?
so cool.
Okay, let's just talk about the bravery in the text
Yeah,
first of
yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah.
to even to initiate such a huge ask. I really want to acknowledge your courage
Mm-hmm.
to do that. And you made it happen. Like you're making it happen. What a mover and a shaker you are, Eleni. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing you. I'd love to ask, what were your greatest takeaways by the pre-homework that Steve assigned you to be able to have this session with Steve?
Well, so for the Sermon on the Mount, I just thought it was so interesting how just um Jesus was speaking with authority to everybody and he was sharing new versions of the commandments, like, and something that really caught my attention was that he said um if you are angry at your brother without a reason, then you have committed murder, like one of the commandments. So he was really like narrowing down the commandments. And another thing that he said that I really liked was, um, don't try to point out the speck in your brother's eye before before you take out your own speck in your own eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
So good. One
and
of my
how has that
favorites.
impacted?
One of my favorites in that one is when he says, "Look at the birds of the air and beasts of the field. You know, doesn't your heavenly Father feed them? Yet they don't work or spin or labor." And he said, "Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life?" Right?
Yeah,
And
I
so seek.
actually recently I actually wrote like that was like when he said that that was about like 5 to 8 verses or so, and I
Mm-hmm,
wrote that all down on my whiteboard and I memorized it because I really liked it. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. It's a great reminder, and um, I think about when I wake up in the morning and I do my meditation and I'm what everything's quiet except for the birds and I can hear the birds chirping and always brings me back to that because I'm like, yep, God takes care of the birds. I don't have to worry about whether or not he's going to take care of me.
Alani, what you shared was so powerful, and I would love to know how it has impacted you already in your relationship with your siblings.
yeah, so I've been really working on like fixing fixing the speck in my eye before I
Mm,
point out my siblings because and that has very much changed my relationships. That's something that I'm going to be speaking on during the ultimate experience.
mm.
Um, so I won't say too much, but that has really helped me trying to take out the speck in my eye before I point out my siblings, and I feel that I have a much better relationship with them now than I really ever have.
Yeah, that's such a powerful lesson for all of us. The taking responsibility and looking at where we're erring first before pointing the finger at anybody else definitely is something to um man, I'm just so blown away by the degree of maturity that you have. And it's you're such a remarkable human being.
Thank
And
you.
and um when you mentioned that your dad was working with Steve a few years ago. When was the first time that um, or did you notice a shift in the household or in their parenting or how they were showing up one, with the exposure from the Ultimate Coach book and doing that work?
Um, I I feel like my parents have always been trying to better themselves and trying
Mm,
to do better. So I didn't exactly notice a shift when they found out about the Ultimate Coach when they started doing it. Um, but I feel like maybe in the past year, they have um not exactly shifted, but have been really working on bettering themselves a lot more.
mm,
My dad is like continuously creating his clients for his business, and he recently just like took a very big leap of faith with his business and um yeah.
wow, that's amazing. Now, is there what for you personally, what has been one of the biggest catalysts for your own personal growth? Would you say it's been from reading the book? Would you say it was from visiting Birmingham and the event? What if you had to point to this was the biggest leap for me of growth?
I would say probably reading the book and uh just even just not exactly the session I had with Steve, but just finding out about him and how he lives life really inspired me to try to do the same.
Mm,
So that's what I've always been kind of working towards is to be more like him uh in just the ways that he lives life and is in the present and yeah.
amazing.
Magic, I tell you.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Elani, what would you say to parents out there, or maybe even to youth out there that might be watching the replay that might be considering going to an ultimate experience or have not read the Ultimate Coach concentrated version? What guidance could you give them?
Well, before you decide if you want to go to the ultimate experience, I would definitely read the ultimate coach and look more into this uh, page that you're watching this on. Um, and and if you go to the ultimate experience, it it is truly life changing. It's really inspiring, and I expected to kind of be bored a lot of the time because I don't have a huge attention span. But it actually had me hooked the entire time, so I would
Wow.
definitely recommend going.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's a big testimony right there.
It also had my little siblings, my little sister Penelope, she's 6, and my little brother Sam, he's 8. They went with us too. And they some of the time they were coloring, but most of the time they were actually like locked in and they were listening to the stories and stuff.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, Professor, that was one of my most favorite parts of the Birmingham experience was during the breaks and meeting with the youth like Alani and her older brother and her 2 younger siblings, just kind of doing a reflection piece of how is it going? What are you getting out of it? Like, are you inspired? What's inspiring you? And in those, just the curiosity in those questions and getting their immediate feedback was so heartwarming
Mm,
for possibility for youth to be present and to create an opportunity to be at one of our ultimate experiences or to gift the Ultimate Coach concentrated to your own children for possibility. How would you say, Alani, as as an introduction, what if someone isn't curious about reading the Ultimate Coach concentrated, but they watch you here and all of a sudden something lights a spark in them to read The Ultimate Coach Concentrated? Why would they want to?
Why would they want to read it after they watch this?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
hopefully seeing my experiences and my point of views, hopefully that inspires you to read it or to look more into it.
I
Yep.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Because it truly, I said it before in the beginning, but with reading The Ultimate Coach Concentrated as a family, and then all of a sudden being inspired in the car to go ahead and start writing, and with instant action telling your dad, I'd like to speak at and your mom, I'd
Yeah.
like to speak at the Arizona event. And then how that ask
Mm-hmm.
created possibility, even when your dad had some doubts. But your inspired thought to action to even have the bravery to ask your dad, which then rippled into him asking Matt, and it creating possibility. And again, it being one of the most impactful moments in the Birmingham experience. For me,
Mm-hmm.
the impact was there was a story that I held on to as a child. And it was told to me by an elder. And it was, children are to be seen and not heard. And it really hurt me for many years. And it created an inspiration for me to be an advocate for people and youth. And when you, watching you and experiencing you, using and sharing your voice was so impactful. And so I'm so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really proud.
Yeah. Yeah. That there's a whole generation that taught that. And the sad part is that there's a whole generation that missed out on the kind of inspiration that Eleni you bring. You know, um it's just absolutely amazing, and like who you're being, and when you open your mouth and you're singing and you're making bold asks and you're showing up with this degree of courage and faithfulness, it's inspiring. Imagine if you were muted and didn't get to do that, like and so there's a whole degree of inspiration that young people can bring when they're stepping into the greatest version of themselves. um, you know, your courage to make these bold asks, your faithfulness, and the vision that you see. There's a couple of things that come up for me. One is, um, there's the reported reality versus the created reality, and you observe the reported reality, but you're not confined by it, and so many people are. That doesn't that the structure of that and the confinement in the box of that doesn't hinder you, which is amazing. And secondly, the other passage that comes to mind is James chapter 4, where it says, you have not because you ask not. And because of your courage, and you're not living in a place of fear, but faithfulness, you're like, I'm gonna ask, what's the worst that can happen? and the best thing that happens is it actually happens, and you create this new created reality. And um you're such a great living example of who God is in the way that you're showing up. It really is remarkable, and I'm so grateful that you and your family are going to be there, and that you're going to be on stage and sharing this. And it one of the biggest impacts that I remember from Birmingham was your inspiration. one of the biggest impacts from Arizona last year was the moment when Eric Lofholm brought up his daughter Sarah, and she wasn't even on the schedule. It was one of those things, and Eric just extended the invitation, and next thing you know, she's sharing some things and just absolutely blowing people away in a good way. And it's so important for us to not hear from all the old people, but just the inspiration that you bring. And I'm so grateful, so excited, and hopefully I get to hear you sing again, because it was amazing. Is that going to be part of it?
Yes, it will.
Yes.
It will.
Yes.
She is in action
Awesome.
of her
That's
dreams.
so awesome.
I believe one of your dreams is to host a concert and star in a movie, and you are doing it. Like, this is each one of these brave moments that you step into are part of the journey that will create your dreams, because like, you're already doing it. I can just see it. I can feel it. I already know in the quantum field it's already done.
Wow.
And
I know
I'm
somebody that has a film production company.
mm,
Just
I
saying.
think all of us know him. But Eleni, what I'm really excited about is that this opportunity at the Ultimate Coach Experience in Arizona is truly promoted around hearing from intergenerational people. So cross generations. We want to hear from the young because we learn from you. We want to hear from older because we learn from them. We want to hear from
Careful.
everything in between.
Careful.
Elder, I think I'm there.
Yeah, I know I look like Santa Claus. It's okay.
But it's really important for your voice to be heard. And
Yes.
it's really, really important to us. So really want to thank you for saying yes to being an inspiration for you, an inspiration in your family, for your mom, your dad, and your siblings. And I know it ripples out into the other extended family members, I'm sure. And it will most definitely impact anybody who is sitting in that room. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Mr. Professor, do you have any last words for Eleni?
I safe travels, and I can't wait to hear all the magic that you create with your BWIS session, and I can't wait till one more week, and then we get to see you in person and give you a hug, and your family, and oh, it's just going to be awesome. Looking forward to it.
7 days from this moment, we'll be doing sound checks. What?
That's right.
Yes. Exciting. Eleni, do you have any other or any additional last words that you'd like to share?
Just thank you both for doing this and everyone else who helped create this event. It's so amazing. So thank you everyone.
Thank you. Well, blessings to all. We'll see you in Arizona. Remember, be blessed and be you. We love you and can't wait to be with you soon. Have a blessed day, everyone. Take care.